13-6 wrong with the complementary plays, a number of selections coming up for this Sunday card, including the Sunday night game between the Titans and the Rams. Quick little, what I think is an amusing story for you. So I'm on Amazon. I saw this cool little thing I thought about getting for my son for a little Christmas gift. It's one of these things you put on your desk, and it looks like a semicircle, and in between it is a globe that lights up of the Earth, and it spins. But there's a magnet at the top and the bottom of the semicircle, so the globe spins in the air in between the magnets, and it just kind of floats in space, and it lights up. And it's one of those cool things, you put on your desk, and it just sits there. I don't know, I might get one for myself. It just looks kind of cool. So I'm looking at the question and answers just to kind of get a sense of what people think about it. And one of the questions is, does it come in a flat earth version? And I thought, damn, Kyrie Irving is looking at the same product that I am for a Christmas gift. Just had to throw that in there. Matter of fact, I'm looking at this video and I'm looking at on my laptop, and I look pretty damn good for a guy who's dying from leukemia, don't I? And it's like, 4:30 in the morning? I've been up 18 hours. I'll tell you what, I look better than Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers did on this video podcast they did earlier this week, don't I? Okay, let's move on. Boy, I'm in a good mood today, aren't I? Listen, that quirky little NFL stat I just wanted to talk about, it's the one where I always say that if you can pick the straight-up winner, you can make a lot of money. Of course, if it was so easy to pick up a straight-up winner, we'd all be millionaires and we'd all be living side by side on a golf course in Vegas. But it's something that I picked up, as I've noted many times, about 12 or so years ago, and it usually is a great number through about the first 10 to 12 weeks of the season. And it usually works to about an 85% clip. Well, this year it got off to a slow start, but through the first 8 weeks of play, the straight-up winners are 99, 22, and 1. And that comes out to 81.8%. But again, if you just pick the straight-up winners and find that they automatically cover, it just ain't that easy. Now, if you happen to be watching this on the site, well, scroll down. Wait till the video's done, please. Scroll down and it's right under the video. If you happen to be watching this elsewhere, like on YouTube, click through to aldemarco.com or demarcosports.com. It's one and the same. And if you can't spell my name by now, shame on you. And I've got the entire breakdown and a number of other substats as well. But there's a couple of interesting substats that I just want to talk about. Last week, the underdogs had their second best week of the entire season, as they went 10-3 against the spread. Now, I can tell you, when underdogs bark at that rate, there are only two things that are happening, and they are both bad. Gamblers are losing a fortune, and sports books are making big money. Why? Because the natural inclination is that gamblers gravitate toward favorites. That's just the way it is. It's basic human nature. And that's what happened. Now, the dogs in week number 1 went 12-4. They went 9-7 in week 2, 9-7 in week 3, 8-6 in week number 4. But then the cyclical nature of gambling started to take effect. 7-9, 6-8, 6-7, and then boom, 10-3. Everything is cyclical. The other thing that I always like to talk about is that when you find these dogs, often you'll find that the dogs win outright. 47 of the 66 dogs this season, and the underdogs, by the way, are 66-51 on the season. That's a 56.4% clip. So the guys that always tell you, especially in this business, oh, bet the dogs, bet the dogs. 66-51, 56.4%, right? For the entire year. That's the underdog clip. But often, if you like a dog, consider this. 47 of the 66 dogs, that's 71.2%, have won the games outright. 8 of those dogs last week won the game outright. Why is this significant? If there is a dog that you really love, consider a secondary play as a money line play if the takeback is significant. Now, what does that mean? For example, you're not playing the Jets at plus 425 against the Cincinnati Bengals last week because that's a ridiculous play. But if you like Carolina plus 4 against Atlanta last week, a secondary smaller wager, Carolina plus $1.30 on the money line. If you like Tennessee plus the 3.5 against Indianapolis last week, a secondary wager on Tennessee plus $1.30 made sense. If you like the Patriots getting the 4 to 4.5 at the Chargers last Sunday, the Patriots were $1.75. That's a worthy money line play. And all these teams went outright. If you like the Saints to have Tom Brady's number, well, a secondary play on New Orleans plus $1.90. Those were the 4 teams last week that won outright that made sense. If you like those underdogs, making a secondary play on the money line. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're looking at puppies. Okay, all the other stats and etc. are over on the homepage. Let's take a look at the Sunday night game first, as we'll run them in reverse chronological order. After playing a lot of crappy teams, the LA Rams are coming home and they're actually going to play a good team. But that good team is Tennessee, and they don't have the best player, and that, of course, is Derrick Henry. Now, I'll tell you what, on Sunday nights, you know the underdog is 7-1 against the spread with 7 straight covers. Well, guess what, folks? I think, streaks are meant to be broken, and I think that is one of them is going to be broken tonight because I say lay the points and take the Rams in this spot because the Rams have naturally played down to the level of their competition here in recent weeks. And it has certainly hurt bettors because last week they got backdoored when the Houston Texans scored late. The week prior, they let Detroit in the back door as well. The last time they covered was 3 Sundays ago against the New York Giants. I think I had them in that game, in fact. But this is finally an opportunity for them to step up and play well. And I think they're going to get the job done against Tennessee. The Titans, of course, got the job done in Indianapolis last week, overcoming an early 14-0 deficit, courtesy of Carson Wentz's poor play and 2 killer interceptions. But without Derrick Henry, this is going to be a Tennessee team that is going to be challenged here tonight to get the job done. And I think that the Rams, at this price, I'm going all in on LA. Minus the 7, obviously, I'm buying down the half point on the Rams. On the early card, I like the Dallas Mavericks. I like the Dallas Cowboys. 2 significant stats here if you're into ATS trends. The Cowboys are undefeated against the spread this season, going a perfect 7-0. Do you know the straight-up winner has covered every single one of the Denver Broncos games? Dak Prescott is returning after the 1-game absence, an impressive performance by the Cowboys last week in his absence when they went to Minnesota and won outright as a 4.5-point dog. This Denver team really hasn't beaten anyone of note. Big deal, they beat Washington last week 17-10 at home. Dallas, with that high-flying offense, averaging nearly 33 points a game. Denver only averages about 19. I think the Cowboys are going to be able to put the pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. Denver's quarterbacks have already been sacked, I believe, 26 times this year, which is the 23rd most times in the league. And I think Dallas will also be able to run the ball successfully on Denver, who, of course, traded Von Miller. Now, minus 10, that is one of the numbers that I also believe that you buy the half point down. If the line is 10, 10.5, 7, 6, 4, and 3 are the other numbers, I believe you do so as well. But I think Dallas is going to win this game comfortably too. So I do like Dallas in this spot. Another big number today is Buffalo, minus the 14.5 points at Jacksonville. Buffalo last week, I think, had a hangover a bit. After the bye week, after losing in that last minute at Tennessee, they really were lethargic and played poorly at home against Miami. Eventually got the job done as a 14.5-point favorite, winning 26-11. But this week, I think the number one offense gets the job done, puts the points on the board, takes advantage of a Jacksonville pass defense that's pathetic, a Jacksonville pass rush, which is not going to bother Josh Allen at all. And I think this week they play up to their potential. And it's not like they have a look-ahead game either, because next week, who do they play? They're at the Jets. So I like them in this spot, and I'm more than willing to lay the big number with them as well. Also on the early card, I think the other game that I probably lean toward a little is Baltimore, minus the 6 against Minnesota. Minnesota here in this spot, coming off the loss at home against Dallas, a game that they really should have won. Week after week, you see Minnesota making costly penalties, costly turnovers, and being done in by stupid coaching errors. You got a Baltimore team that is coming off a bye. Previous game had their winning streak snapped when they got shellacked at home by Cincinnati 41-17. I think this is a good spot to look for the Ravens to rebound. So if I had to rank the plays, how I like them, tier number one would be the Rams and also the Cowboys. Tier number two would be the Ravens. Tier number three would be Buffalo, and that's only because you're laying 2 touchdowns in that spot. So that's the rundown there. As far as for me today, I have a very rare 30-dime release, which matches the biggest play in my career, of course, and that is going on the early card, and it's what I'm calling the rebound route of the year. It's a team that lost last Sunday that I like them to rebound with the big win and easy cover today. By the way, it's not only the half price play of the day, but you can get my play and all the plays of all the handicappers for free today by using the 1-day free all access pass. If you've never tried it out before, if you've never been a customer at the site before, go to DeMarcosports.com or aldemarco.com. You can get my play and all the plays of all the handicappers for free, no strings attached, by simply checking out the 1-day free all access pass. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and talk to you again soon. Good luck, everybody.